Let's dive into what we heard today about financing women entrepreneurs. Everyone here is an entrepreneur or is running a business, and it's one topic I think we have to do that next time. The difference between entrepreneurs and women who run business, because we've got women in business and we've got women entrepreneurs. That's another topic for another day. So tell us if you want to share with us the sources of finance for anybody that's in business, whether you are a female entrepreneur, male entrepreneur, what are the sources of finance out there that one can actually delve into if you're going to go into business?
Sure, thank you. I prepared some few slides for us to all feel a bit more into this journey of running a business. Becoming an entrepreneur is not an activity. Definitely it's driven by some dream, it's driven by passion to succeed. That's why most of the time you find business leaders pursuing their businesses no matter the challenges. And when it comes to doing business, what we recommend is that please don't keep your dreams in your head. Don't keep your visions in your head. And don't be afraid to share your vision. The only way you get input into your business is when you share. And somebody shares what you can do better to become a better person in what you do. When it comes to sources of financing, it shouldn't be at this point in your business that you are really thinking about the source. You start thinking about it at the inception of your business. When the gentleman from KPMG was talking to us, that we all focus on one side of the financials, as the P&L, income, expenses, that's all we all do. But the bigger story is on our balance sheets. That is where the growth is. The asset, the liabilities, and everything that goes with it. And in your business plan, that is where you must indicate where your sources of income will be when you start that journey. Probably there are about 5 of them, and I'll share with you very quickly because I don't have so much time to go into this. First thing, start with us. Nobody will help you if you're not ready to help yourself. That's why when we go to the bank to take a loan, they ask us how much we are putting in. Your skin must be in their business. So no one gets it. That's why I said being an entrepreneur is not an activity. Don't just get up one day and start saying that I want to start a business. And building something for yourself, start with some intentional activity of saving or investing. If it was a dream out of school, it meant that 2 years before coming out of school, you had started building something. If it was that thing of branching out of corporate, the recommendation is that you save out for 2 years of your income. Because when you start your own business, it's very, very difficult to begin to even pay yourself. So getting that money that you have in your bank account, getting that money that you have in investments, it's something which is very, very critical. You might be so proud of yourself to say, I put 200,000 cedis into my business. There's a very good reason that when you go to registrar, you're supposed to state your stated capital and pay some stamp duty. So money that you are growing yourself to put in that business is what is desired and recommended as the very, very first source of financing your business. You move from yourself to family. In the Western world, the journey is a bit easier when you are out of school or you're in the corporate and you want to start something out of passion. Family supports. It's very, very easy for you to go and share a story and then out of nowhere, $10,000, $20,000 is mobilized for you. So please make sure you establish wonderful relationships with your family so that people can help you. The first clients you have in every product and services that you check out, the first set of clients are your family. Imagine you start a church, you don't have any family member in that church. So please make sure that you maintain good relationships within your family. The only way they can help you is to share. Let's stop being afraid of riches in our families. Because of the riches, we don't let anybody. But when it comes to sharing, the other skill is to know who to share with. You only share with the person who wants to see you go from one place to the other one. So you must be critical in that selection. And a lot of family support doesn't even have to be from just one person. It can be throughout family or venture capital, a pool of money that the family have, and they say we are going to support and try to do this. There's a reason why we say friends and families. You move from family, you come to friends. And there are a lot of supporting friends. And you only do that when you invest in what I call friendship. You leave this space making friends with 3 or 4 people. But what happens beyond today? It is that investment in building that relationship, building friendship, is what will get you there one day. Having those right connections in the right corridors, so that when you start something, you know who to call to support you. There are angel investors as well. There are people who genuinely will have to support you. Some are minimum cost, some are totally free money. So family is the next step. We move from family to what we call government agencies. And a number of us don't explore those institutions. When it comes to financing, it's not always about cash. We have a category called non-financial support. And those are the ones that will bring out a lot more in what we do. They come to help to restructure your business. No matter how small your business is, it must have protocols, you don't have a structure. They help you when it comes to projecting your brand. They help you pushing the social media handles, everything. And these agencies help. They have all these technical assistance that they provide. It's not only the NGO, a lot of businesses that they also, especially when you're in the impact space. So let's explore all government agencies. There's the NBSSI, now they are called Ghana Enterprises Agency. There's the Maslow, there are several of them. There's a lot of cheap funds. We should know and explore and assess. You are at a point where you need a bit more. Now you have some story to share. There is some evidence of what you are doing. You have opened a bank account. There's some history of your influence, and that is why it is recommended that when we start businesses, please don't run the business out of your boots. Minimize cash in and out of your pockets as much as possible. Every transaction should be traceable. Now, merchant accounts are linked to bank accounts. There's online banking. Let's stop using our personal Momo account for business transactions. When it is not linked to the bank, there's no evidence of what you are doing. So when you go to the bank, there's no story supporting what you are asking for. So please be encouraged to ensure that every transaction, it doesn't matter how small it is, goes through your bank. By the time you are going to the bank, there's some additional cost coming to your business now, interest expense. So we must be very mindful of that cost because it just increases our cost of production. Finally, is bootstrapping. And this is the point where you begin to look at everything else that I have. You started with yourself. Now you have to go back to yourself. What else do I have? What do I have to sell? What can I conveniently give away to support my business? And when you are running your business, you are encouraged to ensure that you invest for yourself, you invest for the business. So bootstrapping is going back to your savings and taking something out of it to put back. The reason you must go through all these processes is you are trying so hard to minimize the cost of running your business. So the easier money or the cheaper money you can get is what you pursue. So you don't start a business today, you're running to the bank for money. No, you'll get it wrong. Explore all available sources of income. So starting with yourself, your family, your friends, etc., before even going to the bank. Even when it comes to the bank, please explore the cheapest of all facilities. You don't go for a short-term facility, for a long-term venture. You're into real estate and you're going for a short-term loan to support your real estate. It doesn't work like that. So that ends the sources. We want to move on to the types. Very good. Okay. When it comes to types, this is where the balance sheet conversation comes in. Largely, there are two types of financing a business: it's either debt or equity. It's as simple as that. And debt is loan. You have to pay back. Equity usually is free money. You don't pay back. You only give in the form of what? Reward, dividends, when that happens. When it comes to when you take your balance sheet, when you have an accountant preparing your accounts for you, the balance sheet, and the capital, you have capital, you have liability, you have short-term liability, long-term liabilities. That is why when you are about to go for a loan, it is recommended that you match the short-term liability with your short-term assets and your long-term liabilities with your long-term assets when it comes to financing. So for all the sources that I mentioned, sometimes what you get from family can be equity or it can be debt. It is not everything that comes free. So your family can decide to support you through debt or equity. Your friends can decide to support you through debt or equity. Even when it comes to angel financing. And when it comes to other sources of debt arrangements, you have what we call the credit unions. You have the savings and loans, the microfinance, etc., etc. So sometimes you have to begin to assess what you need the money for, and that will help you to know how you source the money. And every time we are saying you're putting so much money in the business, but we're not seeing the reward. So when you start doing this through the banks, the accountant is able to pick everything that you have personally put in. And if there's some external injection into the company as well, it is clear that this is some private support for you. I'm keeping this conversation at this level of SME because when it comes to corporate financing, it's a totally different conversation because some businesses are the regulation and everything. The very last type is what we call retained earnings. So this is reward. You tell yourself that, okay, every year I have to go to Dubai to chill. Every year I have to pay myself some bonus. But you are looking at the needs, let me just write that. Looking at the needs of your business in the following year. You are telling yourself, no, I can't go to Dubai. Let me put the money back into the business. And that is what we call retained earnings.
I remember it was mentioned that women do not apply for facilities. Women do not apply for facilities. More men apply for facilities. But on the other hand, when you go and you look at the performance, women do very well. Women are very good repairs, but they don't put themselves out in terms of going to access the facilities that are available. The other thing we saw was that women, you need to congratulate yourselves for being here, because women do not attend a lot of capacity building sessions. Men do more of that. So those were just some things I heard from today that I'm going to touch on. So why is it that men are able to access finance more successfully than women? Some of the reasons include that women disqualify themselves. They underestimate their creditworthiness. Even if they have a good business, even if they've been doing some of the things that we've been talking about today, a lot of women underestimate their creditworthiness. They have a low self-perception. So it's self-confidence. They disqualify themselves. Some of the other things are, when a woman is going into business, a lot of the time it's because she's passionate about something, which is wonderful. When a lot of men are going into business, it's because they've identified a niche that is going to make them profit.
There's probably passion in there somewhere, but they are looking at the money. So as women entrepreneurs, it's important for us to remember that as passionate as we are, as wonderful as we are, as creative as we are in business to make money. And that's something that sometimes we lose sight of, because the creative process is so exciting. So now coming back to some of the things that were said today. We need to instill all those practices that we've been hearing about. We need to have discipline. If you want to access finance, you may have a beautiful product, but that's not what the financial provider wants to see. They want to see your track record. They want to see that your business is making money. They want to even see that you know what you're talking about. Because maybe your business is making money, but you've left all the money matters to your accountant. And you don't speak the language with your accountant. It's fine to have an accountant, but it's also important for us to understand the finances of the business, because at the end of the day, the buck stops with you. You are the creator, you are the visionary, but you need to understand what is happening with the money. Do you have a business plan? You need a business plan, not just to be able to go and give to somebody. I loved it when Sewa spoke, because Sewa was also another one of the people who said things, some of the things that I was going to mention. Your business plan is as much for you as it is for the person you want to go and apply for funding from. Why is it important for you? It is your roadmap. It's the roadmap for your business. It's like your GPS. Dr. Suzy mentioned. It is what you where you put down your vision, where you articulate what it is you want to do, how you are going to do it, where we are going to go to in the next so many years. This is what we are doing now. This is where we want to move to. This is the strategy with which we will do it. Great. So basically, that sums it up. Some of the things you need to be aware of. At 5 more minutes. Oh, sorry, I have 5 more minutes. So yes, your business plan. It's about what is in your mind for your business. It needs to be on paper so that somebody can take it and understand it. Where you are going to, your business is going to go to, how you are going to go there, what you will need, what it will cost, even where you will get the money from, as Dr. Suzy was saying. So it is your roadmap. Now, when you come to wanting to apply for finance, you're going to develop it a bit further. Now, these are all things that a lot of us ignore because we are so focused on the creative process and we think that somebody else will do it for us. In the morning, one of the questions that came up was, I think it was Franklin when he spoke. Somebody asked whether he would do a business plan. And I liked his answer. He said, yes, somebody can do the business plan for you, but you need to take ownership of it because you are the one who's going to speak to that business plan. When you go and apply for finance, the person you are speaking to, you are not taking the one who wrote the business plan. You are going to speak to the business plan. You are going to speak to the finances, and we need to be able to speak with authority. When we have gaps, when all these, we haven't done our homework, we haven't done all of this, the person sitting across the table from you, they know it, they pick it up. And it all feeds back into the prejudice that women are not bankable. Women are not serious. Their businesses are hobbies. And so barriers to finance, these are some of the things that happen that we create. And we can do a lot to remedy the situation. So let's do it.
Thank you so much for coming. Really, thank you. Your CEO mentioned earlier on that 60% of your portfolio it's geared towards women, right? And most of the women here, I know, are going to come out to Africa. Because one, we've already opened accounts for them. Now they have to come back and expect some level of service, and also what you can do to help them. You encounter women every day, and I'm sure we heard everything. Share with us, and especially all of us in this room, how do we position ourselves to access finance?
So I think a lot of the things have been said, so I'm going to continue on that path. I think the first thing is, before you even think about accessing finance, you have to deal with yourself. And I'm saying yourself because it all starts in the mind and what you think of yourself. I think that for a lot of us as women, we've been positioned in a certain way where we've been made to feel that we can't lead, we can't take the charge. So even sometimes, even how you even walk into the banking hall, you start talking about your business. You don't even have confidence about the business that you own, which you've been running for years, which is actually working. But just because you have to talk about it or sell the business, that confidence is no more there. And so that's one thing that I want to leave with all of us, that before you walk into that bank, believe that your plan works because it's been working. Or it's been working. So believe that the plan works, and to what Doctor said, you have to be confident about what it is that you're selling. I think the second thing is some of these misconceptions around collateral. So most people think that before you can get a loan or a facility from a bank, you need to have a vehicle or landed property. But it doesn't end there. So we've moved beyond that. We are looking at cash. So today you can have cash in investments that can also be used as collateral for you. I'm sure some of us didn't know that. So you could actually start building, we talked about bootstrapping. You can actually start building your investments towards that facility that you want to take in some year or two. And it's not too long. So you can actually say that I have an investment of X or Y amount. Based on that, the business can give you the facility to push your business forward. That's one. Another thing is stocks. So some of us, we don't know that, oh, I could actually use my stock in trade to access finance. That's also something that we look at, especially as affiliates. So if you're running a business, let's say you're in trade, you're selling, you have some amount of stock, you could assess the stock as another way to, as collateral, for instance. So that's something that you can also look at. Then we also have third-party collaterals as well. So for instance, if you had a guarantor, you could bring a guarantor on board who could also give some amount of collateral to support your business. So these are our avenues that we could look at that can help you expand your business. If I may, I could also add, the businesses that we are in, or the business of finance, is still evolving. And sometimes, and I'm speaking to a lot of the industry partners here, we are building products for women, not with women in mind. I don't know if it makes sense. And we all need to be a part of that process. And I think I loved what Doctor was saying, that we have to be a part of the process. Don't just stand on the sidelines and say, oh, I paid Suzy to write me a business plan. You have to be a part of that process because you understand the business. I could develop a product and say that, oh, I'm a loan facility for women in fashion. And I'm only developing that product from where I sit, not from the experience of the person who is actually in the product. And these are the things that we are learning as affiliates, because you develop a product and then you go to market and you realize that on the ground it's a different terrain altogether. And it's just because we are not a part of the process. So please let's be confident to talk about these things. You may come for finance today and may be turned away because, back to the same point, we are not banking our finances, we are not formalizing our income. So there's nothing to show for what we are doing. But then in a year or two or 3 months to come, that product will exist. I don't know if it makes sense to all of us. So unfortunately, you may not benefit from it today. And a lot of women walk away and say that I came for a loan, you didn't give it to me, and that was it. I never come back again. But you could come back a year or two, or even just a few months later, and you realize that because of the problem that you had, a new product has actually been developed for it. But you don't know, just because you were turned away and then that was it, you just shut your mind. So let's not turn ourselves away from these opportunities. Let's keep knocking on the doors. Let's keep shouting. And it's fantastic that we have so many women in very key strategic areas in Ghana today, and I pray that everybody's listening, because we need to start developing products with women in mind, getting them to be a part of the process, so that whatever it is that we are developing is actually meeting their needs. And these are some of the things that we can do. Thank you.
Well, thank you so much. You want to start with the message?
Apologies, I was living two topics, so I have more to say. I just want to touch on something briefly. It's that approach to business where, as business leaders, we want to do everything for the business by ourselves. So we are the accountant, we are the marketer, we are the branch manager, we are the distributor, we are the stock taker,
Front desk officer.
we are the vision bearers, we are the vision executors. It is tiring. That business is not sustainable. Let's learn to appreciate the relevance of professionals. Let's learn to pay something small to people who know how to do things effectively and efficiently. It doesn't matter if you're a chartered accountant and you're running your own business. The recommendation is to get someone to maintain your portfolio. So we talk about outsourcing. There's a lot of advantage when you outsource certain aspects of your business. You become better in your business. You must remember something that you're not just touching something and executing it in your lifetime and when you are gone. There's no story. Enterprise is 100 years next year. Why can't our businesses also grow? So let's stop thinking about small businesses and once we make 10,000, 100,000 a year, that is it. We don't want more. Why can't we dream about 1 million, 2 million? The only way you get there is to allow other people to come in to support you. So as you live here, if there are aspects of your businesses you think you can easily outsource and be more efficient, please get it done. I was running a fund management company. I really want to be a fund management. So my passion was client relationship. That's all I wanted to do. I outsourced my research, my accounting. I was thinking at the point of outsourcing my fund management. I was asking myself, what is my license? Because you don't want to put yourself in that space where you are so involved in the operation, you don't have space for strategy. As the owner, you must have space to think. So that is one other thing I want to do.
We're open for questions.
Yes, because the bank here, it's always really for lots of women working here as your customers. How many applications come, like loan applications come in, and how many are successful, how many do take away, or how many do bring back really coach and encourage and address the applications to get to get them to at the place where they can successfully apply?
Thank you for the question. So we have quite a number of applications that come in on a weekly. So what we try to do with our relationship officers is that when a customer walks in and says they are interested in the loan, and of course this is a loan, they go through various processes. So the first thing is to understand the business, and that's one of the things that we try to do because we're here to solve problems. So we want to understand what the business is and what exactly is the loan for. Because sometimes someone might come and say, I want a facility, and then the money is just diverted because it's really not for the business. And again, by understanding what the business, the request is or what it's for, we have different types of loans. I think I talked about that for various reasons. So these are some of the things that we do. Now, let's take a scenario where a customer walks in and based on the financials, we've had several of them, you would assess the financials and they don't cut it because it's either they're not, the bookkeeping is not well done, so you can't assess their sales, for instance. And most of these women entrepreneurs, for instance, have come and said, you assess and you realize that the sales records are not very good. but I think Mom mentioned about Momo, but they have a lot of transactions going through Momo. So what we do with them is that we let them understand all the possible ways they could put their finances together to help them access the loan. So for instance, we'll look at your sales records, we'll ask you if you have some funds coming through your mobile money. We also look at transactions that are coming through your formal bank accounts. So you could have an account in Affinity, and then you could also have an account in another bank. We take all these things into consideration, we sum it up, and still see if you will be able to take a facility from us. If you are not able to, what we usually would do is to educate you and let you know that if you were to do X, Y, Z, and you came back, it's most likely that Affinity could give you a loan. I think that what we haven't been able to do, and I think that is why we started with our partnership with Adina, is to be able to start engaging these women more and educating them through financial literacy. So these are some of the things that we hope to do. We've started some engagements with some associations. We've met the Makola Gota, yes, Gota. So we met Gota. We've also had engagements with the Kaya Association, because these are also groups of women who are doing fantastic work, but they don't have access to finance. So to answer your question, these are things that we are doing in the works, and hopefully we'll begin to touch base with more women and educate them.
My other question is, so how many loans will you like in a month? How many applications for loans will you get? How many will be successful?
I will not, yes, I may not be able to say that in public. We could take that offline if you don't want.
Doctor said beautifully that it's not good to take everything upon yourself and handle, like you have to outsource. But what if you have the finances is not enough to outsource? Because I don't think it's right to go for a loan to outsource.
I'm sure Frankie can answer this question on my behalf. When it comes to putting costs and saying things are expensive, the literature has it. When you are sourced, you save money. Imagine employing a chartered accountant to work for you. You're only paying salary, you're taking care of all his benefits on your books. Branch manager, somebody to handle your strategy, that is part of your organization, whatever reason. Compare that to outsourcing. So when you outsource, it's like the insurance company having not agents, the other ones that are pro business, the brokers. So you have a legal person, you outsource your co-secretary, you outsource your marketing, you outsource your accounting, and they're able to do other things. So what they charge you on a monthly basis is far, far less than having them work for you. So if they are aspect of the business, so the distribution part of it, so Amanobea sells bags. When it comes to the placing of the orders, the other ends, and now the bags have to be delivered, she had to employ someone full-time to be doing the delivery. No way. So she can outsource that to a dispatch company or something. Now once I place an order, I'm picking my phone and calling you, and the rest of the work, it's you, get it done. So there's always efficiency when you outsource. You have better results. And then you open up for learning. Because there are things that you don't know yourself when it comes to doing certain things. But because you have a professional guiding you, there are a lot of complications with business registrations now. And Registrar General is just chasing everybody do, but every time they are sending you text messages. If you don't do the global, there's penalty. If you don't do this, there's penalty. Whatever stage your business is, whether it's sole proprietorship or limited liability, there's always something that is changing. So if you outsource your company secretary to someone who understands this and is updated every time on the changes, the person is able to guide you so that you're not in default. So there's always some advantage to it.
Let me just add on, since we are in the technology era, there are a lot of other things that you could do with technology that could help you reduce time and also reduce costs. Today we have a lot of young men and women who are passing out of university with degrees in computer science, in programming, data science. They don't even have anything to do. There are a lot of startups that are coming up that you can partner with to develop applications and apps that could actually reduce the stress. So for instance, even today, fashion is taking on AI and technology to design. So now instead of you sitting down to draw, you could pass the idea onto some app, and then you click this and you put a sleeve and you put this here, and then in 5 minutes you could have designed a dress. The point I'm making is that there are lots of startups that are coming up, and we need to network. That's the point I'm coming to. We need to network. Sometimes somebody has a solution to your problem, but doesn't even have anyone to buy into the idea. And that's a problem. But then you also have a need, and that solution could solve. So if we network, we open up ourselves to have other people, just like the point of outsourcing. You could have someone who has even built technology for managing deliveries, for instance. And you could just sign up and use that, and that could be managing your deliveries, and you don't even have to get a human being or a salesperson to do some of these things. So we really need to invest in technology. It's tough. I know that some of us, it's like, okay, we have to take some time to learn. But get someone who may be doing that, network with an institution or a startup that is doing some of these things. You could collaborate, and that could help you push and advance your business. Thank you.
Any more questions? Ladies.
Thank you. Please, supposing I need a loan from Affinity and it has been approved, when do I start payment? Do I start from the immediate month you've given me, or there's a grace period like 3 months or something? That's my question. Thank you.
I know why everybody wants a grace period. But when the money is coming, nobody wants grace period. So normally no. What happens is once we disburse the loan, from the date of disbursement, you have your 30 days. So assuming we disburse the loan today, your next repayment will be 30 days from now. So at least you have a month to prepare yourself to start the repayments. I know some entrepreneurs like yourself have come up to us to ask us if we can give you a moratorium so that you can prepare yourself to pay. These are things that we are still assessing. We don't have a lot of data. Again, I think data is a challenge in Ghana. So these are things that we are looking into. But for now, if you did take a loan, maximum you have your 30-day window to repay your next thing. Thank you.
I'm asking that because, you see, thank you. I'm asking that because when somebody asks you about the percentage rate, you said it varies. Yes, most of us, our business varies. Somebody will sell on a daily basis, get money on a daily basis. Some of us, we do contract work, so we get it 2 months, 3 months, or even with the contract, when you are pre-financing, they pay you when you are done with it. So supposing I've come with a contract, the contract is doing the guarantee for me, we've signed an MOU, and I need that money, I can pay, maybe there are some things that we do, and I need a loan like that. That is why I'm asking that.
Okay, so yes, we have had scenarios like that. So let me start with the first part where you have varying businesses. So one of the things that Affinity does is that we encourage our customers. So first thing, you don't have to be an existing customer of Affinity before you can access a loan. So let me start with that. So you could walk in today and fill out a loan form, and we'll process it for you. So that I just want to establish that. Now, when you do take a loan, there are various ways you can manage the loan. One is that you could build savings towards your repayment. So we have something like that, so we can break it down for you, how much you could be saving. So assuming you're a retailer and money comes to you on a daily basis, you could put a fixed amount every day, and we have sales agents that come around, so you could build your savings towards your repayment. That's there. Then we also have individuals who would pay monthly, and so that can also be done. For businesses like yours, we assess the whole contract and see how best we can manage it. Once we are able to understand that, we are able to establish when exactly our payments done and all that, we do access them. grant the loans to this business. We've had a couple of businesses like that, and they are managing.
I think just in the end of it, each one of you can just give us some words of encouragement as we all go back to our various businesses.
Thank you. It's been a full day and you've taken in a lot. The only thing you can do for yourself is not to continue as usual. There's something that's either can wait to company retreat. There's something that a lot of small businesses don't do. Go on company retreats. Please go on a self-retreat after this training. Lock yourself in the room. And that self-retreat should not be on a Sunday or a Saturday. It should be on a weekday, best on a Monday. Tell yourself, I'm not going to open the shop. And I'm sitting in my room and I'm thinking through all these strategies, 1 to 8, everything I have learned today. And my focus is my balance sheets. I want to grow my business by a certain percentage every year. So what can I do? How can I improve the top line? How can I reduce the cost? We must grow our businesses. They are too small. They are just too small. So please, my takeaway for you, lock yourself on a Monday. On a Monday. What you gain by doing that is more than what you have made if you open the shop. I mean, I'll be looking out for your shop to be closed.
You know my shop will never close. Except Sunday.
So to add on to what Dr. Suzy said, I'll just say a lot has been said today that touches on the problems. Don't be put off. There's a solution to everything, and the solutions are within reach. So don't be put off. Just start, and then you find yourself, before you know it, you are organized, you are structured, you are the kind of business that we all aspire to have. So
just to add on, I would say no time is too late to start. So let's have that in the back of our minds that there is no time that is too late for you to start accessing the facility or even start your business idea. Some of us I know just came in because we are curious, not because we are running a business. But there's something lingering in the back of your mind saying there's no time that's too late. The last thing I'll add is that build your squad or build your network and let's support each other. I think that's one of the things that would really help us to grow our businesses. If I know what your business is and I'm patronizing from you, then patronizing from me, the business will grow. But if I leave you to your business and I stay on my side, nobody's growing anywhere. So as we leave here, let's get to know each other's businesses and let's see how we can work together to support each other's business to grow.